John chapter 15. I am the true grapevine, and my Father is the farmer. Every branch of mine that isn't continually producing fruit, he is going to take away, and every one that is continually producing fruit, he is going to trim clean, so that it might produce more fruit. You are already clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. You must stay in union with me, and I will stay in union with you. Just as the branch can't be producing fruit on its own unless it is continually staying united to the grapevine, so neither can you unless you are continually staying in union with me. I am the grapevine, you are the branches. Whoever is continually staying in union with me, and I in union with him, this person is going to produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Whoever isn't staying in union with me is thrown outside like a branch, and it dries up. Then they're going to gather them up and throw them into the fire, and they're going to be burned up and destroyed in the second death. Revelation 20 verses 14 through 15. If you stay in union with me, and my declarations stay in you, you must request whatever you might be wanting, and it will occur for you. My Father is esteemed by this, that you might be continually producing much fruit. Then you shall be my students. Just as the Father has loved me, I have also loved you. You must stay in my love. If you keep my directions, you will stay in my love, just as I have kept my Father's directions, and am staying in his love. I have spoken these things to you, so that my joy might be continually staying in you. Then your joy shall be filled. This is my direction, that you should be continually loving one another, just as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, that one lays down his sentient being or life for his friends. You are my friends, if you are continually doing whatever I am directing you. No longer am I going to call you slaves, because the slave isn't aware of what his master is doing. Yet I have declared you friends, because everything that I have heard from my Father I have made known to you. You didn't choose me, but I chose you, and appointed you, that you might go and be continually producing fruit, and that your fruit might be continually staying, so that whatever you might request from the Father in my name, Jesus, he might give it to you. I am giving you these directions so that you might be continually loving one another. If the world is hating you, you must be knowing that it has hated me first before you. If you were belonging to the world would keep being fond of its own. Yet because you don't belong to the world, but I chose you out of the world, for this reason the world is hating you. You must be continually remembering the word that I said to you. A slave isn't greater than his master. If they have persecuted me, they will persecute you too. If they have kept my word, they will keep yours too. But they will do all these things to you because of my name, Jesus, because they aren't acquainted with the one who sent me. If I hadn't come and spoken to them, they wouldn't have this wrongdoing. Yet now they have no pretense about their wrongdoing. Whoever is hating me is hating my Father too. If I hadn't done the works among them that no one else had done, they wouldn't have this wrongdoing. Yet now they have both seen and hated both me and my Father. But this is so that the word written in the law might be fulfilled. They hated me freely. Musical Composition 35, verse 19. When the Encourager comes, that I will send you from the Father, the Spirit of truth that is going out from the Father, that one will testify about me. Now you are going to testify too, because you have been with me from the beginning. John chapter 16. I have spoken these things to you, so that you might not trip. They will put you out of the assemblies, but an hour is going to come for everyone who kills you to have the impression that he is offering divine service to Almighty. Now they will do these things because they haven't known the Father, nor even me. But I have spoken these things to you, so that when their hour comes, you might be remembering that I told you about them. Now I didn't tell you these things from the beginning, because I was with you. Yet now I am going away to the one who sent me, and not one of you is asking me, "Where are you going?" Rather, because I have spoken these things to you, sorrow has filled your hearts. But I am telling you the truth. It is going to cause improvement for you that I go away. For unless I go away, the Encourager won't come to you. Yet if I go, I will send him to you. Then, having come, that one will expose to the world about things that are wrong, about things that are right and just, and about judgment. About things that are wrong, because they don't believe in me. About things that are right and just, because I am going away to the Father, and you aren't going to gaze at me any longer. And about judgment, because this world's chief, or Satan, has been judged. I still have much to say to you, but you can't carry the weight of it at this present time. Yet when that one comes, the Spirit of truth, it will guide you into all the truth, for it won't speak on its own, but whatever it hears, it will speak, and it will deliver the message among you about the things that are going to come. That one will esteem me, because it will get what is mine, and will deliver my message among you. Everything the Father has is mine. For this reason I said, it is going to get what is mine, and will deliver my message among you. A little while, and you aren't going to gaze at me any longer. Then again a little while, and you will see me. So some of his students then said to one another, "What is this that he is saying to us? A little while, and you aren't going to gaze at me. Then again a little while, and you will see me. And that I am going away to the Father." So they were then saying, "What is this a little while that he is saying? We aren't aware of what he is speaking about." Jesus knew that they were wanting to ask him, so he said to them, "Are you seeking one another's opinion about this because I said, 'A little while and you aren't going to gaze at me, then again a little while and you will see me'? Truly, truly, I say to you, you will weep and wail, yet the world will rejoice. You will be sorrowful, but your sorrow will become joy. When a woman is giving birth, she has sorrow, because her hour has come. Yet when she has given birth to the little child, she doesn't remember the oppression any longer, because of the joy that a human has been born into the world. Yes, indeed, you too are going to now have sorrow, yet I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice, and no one is going to take your joy away from you. Then on that day you won't ask me anything. Truly, truly, I say to you, whatever you might request from the Father in my name, Jesus, he will give it to you. Even until now, you haven't requested anything in my name, Jesus. You must be continually requesting, and you will obtain it, so that your joy might be full. I have spoken these things to you in allegories. An hour is going to come when I won't speak to you in allegories any longer, but will report to you with boldness about the Father. On that day, you must be continually requesting in my name, Jesus, and I don't say to you that I will ask the Father on your behalf. For the Father himself is fond of you, because you have already begun being fond of me, and have already begun believing that I came out from Almighty. I came out from the Father, and have come into the world. Then again, I am leaving the world, and going to the Father. His students said, Notice, now you are speaking with boldness, and aren't telling one allegory. We are now aware that you are aware of everything, and don't need anyone to ask you anything. By this we are believing that you came out from Almighty. Jesus responded to them, Do you believe at this present time? Notice, an hour is going to come, and has already come, for you to be scattered, each to his own place, and to leave me alone. But I am not alone, because the Father is with me. I have spoken these things to you, so that you might have peace through union with me. In the world you have oppression, but you must be continually having courage. I have conquered the world. John chapter 17. Jesus spoke these things. Then, after he had lifted up his eyes to heaven, he said, Father, the hour has come. Esteem your Son, so that the Son might esteem you, just as you gave him authority over all flesh, so that he might give life in the last age to all that you have given to him. Now this is life in the last age, that they might know you, the only true Almighty, and Jesus, the Anointed One, whom you have dispatched. I have esteemed you on the earth, having completed the work that you have given to me to do. So now esteem me at your side, Father, to the esteem that I was having at your side before the world existed. I made your name, Jesus, apparent to the humans, whom you gave me out of the world. They were yours, and you gave them to me, and they have kept your word. Now they have come to know that everything that you have given to me is from you, because the declarations that you gave me I have given to them, and they accepted them, and truly knew that I came out from you, and they believed that you have dispatched me. I am asking on their behalf. I'm not asking on the behalf of the world, but on the behalf of those who you have given to me, because they are yours. And everything that is mine is yours, and everything that is yours is mine, and I have been esteemed by them. Now I'm not going to be in the world any longer, but they are in the world, and I am coming to you. Pure Father, keep them by the power of your name, the one that you have given to me. Jesus means Yahweh, Savior, so that they might continually be one, just as we are. While I was with them, I was keeping them by the power of your name, the one that you have given to me, Jesus, and I have guarded them, and not one of them has been lost, except the son of destruction, Judas, so that the writing might be fulfilled. Musical Composition 109, verse 8. Yet it is a fact that I am coming to you, and I am speaking these things in the world, so that they might have my joy filled full in themselves. I have given your word to them, and the world hated them, because they don't belong to the world, just as I don't belong to the world. I'm not asking you to take them away out of the world, but to keep them from the wicked one, Satan. They don't belong to the world, just as I don't belong to the world. Purify them by the truth. Your word is truth. Just as you have dispatched me into the world, I have also dispatched them into the world. So on their behalf I am purifying myself, so that they might also be purified by the truth. Now I'm not asking on the behalf of these, but also on the behalf of those who are continually believing in me by means of their word, so that they all might continually be one, just as you, Father, are in union with me, and I am in union with you, so that they might also continually be in union with us, so that the world might be continually believing that you have dispatched me. I have given to them the esteem, the one that you have given to me, so that they might continually be one, just as we are one. I am in union with them, and you are in union with me, so that they might be completed into one, so that the world might be continually knowing that you have dispatched me, and have loved them, just as you have loved me. Father, I want these, who are completed into one group, the one group that you have given to me, to also be with me where I am going to be, alive in the last age, so that they might be continually gazing at my esteem, the one that you have given to me, because you loved me before the foundation of the world. O just Father, although the world hasn't known you, yet I have known you, and these have known that you have dispatched me, and I have made your name, Jesus, known to them, and I will make it known to them, so that the love with which you have loved me might continually be in them, and I might continually be in union with them. John chapter 18. After Jesus had said these things, he went out with his students to the other side of the winter brook Kidron, where there was a garden, Gethsemane, into which he and his students entered. Now Judas, who was delivering him over, was also acquainted with the place, because Jesus had often gathered there with his students. So then, after Judas got a military company, and some assistants or deputies of the chief priests and of the Pharisees, he went there with torches, lanterns, and weapons. So then, since Jesus was already aware of everything that was going to come down upon him, he went out and said to them, "Whom do you seek?" They responded to him, "Jesus, the Nazarene." Jesus said to them, "I am he." Now Judas, who was delivering him over, was also standing with them. So then, when he said to them, "I am he," they backed away and fell on the ground. So he asked them again, "Whom do you seek?" Now they said, "Jesus the Nazarene." Jesus responded, "I said to you that I am he. So then, if you are seeking for me, you must let these others go." He said this so that the saying might be fulfilled, "Of those whom you have given to me, not one of them have I lost." John 17, verses 9 and 12. Then Simon Peter, who had a sword, drew it and hit the slave of the chief priest and chopped off his right ear. Now the slave's name was Malchus. So Jesus then said to Peter, "Insert your sword into its sheath. The cup that the Father has given to me, shouldn't I drink it?" So the military company and the colonel and the assistants of the Jews then apprehended Jesus and tied him up, and led him to Annas first, for he was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, who was the chief priest that year. Now it was Caiaphas who had advised the Jews that it was going to cause improvement for one human to die on behalf of the people. Now Simon Peter and another student were following Jesus. Now that student was known to the chief priest, so he entered together with Jesus into the courtyard of the chief priest. Yet Peter remained standing at the door outside. So the other student, who was known to the chief priest, then went out and spoke to the doorkeeper, and he led Peter in. So the servant girl, who was the doorkeeper, then said to Peter, "You aren't also one of this human students, are you?" He said, "I am not." Now the slaves and assistants or deputies had made a fire of hot coals, because it was cold, and were standing there warming themselves. Now Peter was also standing there and warming himself with them. Then the chief priest asked Jesus about his students and about his teaching. Jesus responded to him, "I have spoken with boldness to the world. I always taught in an assembly, or in the sacred place, where all the Jews come together, and I spoke nothing in hiding. Why do you ask me? You must ask those who have heard what I spoke to them. Notice, these are aware of what things I said." Now when he had said these things, one of the assistants or deputies standing by gave Jesus a slap, saying, "This is how you respond to the chief priest?" Jesus responded to him, "If I have spoken badly, testify about this bad thing. Yet if I have spoken ideally, why do you lash me?" So Annas then dispatched him tied up to Caiaphas, the chief priest. Now Simon was standing there and warming himself. So they then said to him, "You aren't also one of his students, are you?" He disowned him and said, "I am not." One of the slaves of the chief priest, a relative of the one whose ear Peter had chopped off, said, "Didn't I notice you with him in the garden?" So then again Peter disowned him, and immediately a rooster crowed. Then they led Jesus from Caiaphas to the palace, the military headquarters, and Pilate's residence when staying in Jerusalem. Now it was early morning, 6 a.m., so they didn't enter into the palace, so that they might not be defiled for that day, Leviticus 22, verse 6, but might eat the Passover feast. So Pilate then came outside to them and affirmed, "What accusation do you bring against this human?" They responded and said to him, "If he wasn't doing something bad, we wouldn't have delivered him over to you." So Pilate then said to them, "You must take him and judge him according to your law." So the Jews then said to him, "It isn't allowed by Roman law for us to kill anyone." So that the word that Jesus said, John 8, verse 28, might be fulfilled, when he signified by what death he was about to die. Jewish law would specify stoning to death, while Roman law specified fastening to a stake. Then Pilate again entered into the palace, and summoned Jesus, and said to him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus responded, "Do you say this on your own, or did others tell you about me?" Pilate responded, "I'm not a Jew, am I? Your own nation and the chief priests have delivered you over to me. What did you do?" Jesus responded, "My kingdom doesn't belong to this world. If my kingdom belonged to this world, my assistants would have kept struggling, so that I shouldn't have been delivered over to the Jews. Yet it is a fact that my kingdom doesn't belong to this place." So Pilate then said to him, "So then, you are a king, aren't you?" Jesus responded, "It is as you say. I am a king. For this I have been born, and for this I have come into the world, to testify to the truth. Whoever belongs to the truth is hearing my voice." Pilate said to him, "What is truth?" Now when he had said this, he again went out to the Jews, and said to them, "I don't find one fault in him. Now it is your custom for me to release someone for you at the Passover's observance. So then, do you intend for me to release for you the King of the Jews?" So they then yelled out, saying, "Not this one, but Barabbas!" Now Barabbas, son of the father, was a robber. John chapter 19. Then Pilate took Jesus, and had him afflicted with lashes. Then the soldiers braided a winter's crown out of thorns, and placed it on his head, and clothed him with a reddish-purple outer garment. Then they began coming up to him, and saying, "Rejoice, King of the Jews!" and kept giving him slaps. Musical composition 69, verse 19, and Isaiah 53, verse 3. Then Pilate went outside again, and said to them, "Notice, I am leading him outside to you, so that you might know that I don't find one fault in him." So Jesus then went outside, wearing the thorny winter's crown and the reddish-purple outer garment. Then he, Pilate, said to them, "Notice the human." So then, when the chief priests and the assistants, deputies, noticed him, they yelled out, saying, "You must fasten him to a stake! You must fasten him to a stake!" Pilate said to them, "You must fasten him to a stake, for I don't find a fault in him." The Jews responded to him, "We have a law," Leviticus 24, verse 16, "and according to the law, he ought to die, because he made himself out to be Almighty's Son." So then, when Pilate heard this saying, he was even more afraid. So he entered into the palace again, and said to Jesus, "Where are you from?" Yet Jesus gave him no response. Isaiah 53, verse 7. So Pilate then said to him, "You aren't going to speak to me? Aren't you aware that I have authority to release you, and I have authority to fasten you to a stake?" Jesus responded to him, "You would have no authority against me in anything except that it had been given to you from above. For this reason, the one who has delivered me over to you has the greater wrongdoing." As a result of this, Pilate began seeking to release him. Yet the Jews yelled out, saying, "If you release this person, you aren't Caesar's friend. Whoever makes himself out to be a king is contradicting Caesar." So when Pilate then heard these words, he led Jesus outside, and sat down upon the platform in a place called the Pavement, yet in Hebrew, Gabbatha. Now it was the preparation day, Friday, for the Passover observance, and it was about the 6th hour, 12 noon. Then he said to the Jews, "Notice your king." So they then yelled out, musical composition 22, verses 12 through 13, "You must take him away! You must take him away! You must fasten him to a stake!" Pilate said to them, "Shall I fasten your king to a stake?" The chief priests responded, "We don't have any king except Caesar." So he then delivered him over to them to be fastened to a stake. Then they took Jesus along, and he went out, carrying the stake himself, to a place called the Place of the Skull, a skull-shaped hill, which in Hebrew is called Golgotha. There they fastened him to the stake, and with him 2 others, one on each side with Jesus in the middle. Now Pilate also wrote a title, and placed it on the stake. Now it had written on it, Yesun, the Nazarene, the King of the Jews. Then many of the Jews read this title, because the place where Jesus was fastened to the stake was near the city, and it was written in Hebrew, Latin, and Greek. Then the chief priests of the Jews were saying to Pilate, "You must not write the King of the Jews, but he said, 'I am the King of the Jews.'" Pilate responded, "What I have written, I have written." Then, when the soldiers had fastened Jesus to the stake, they took his outer garments and made 4 parts, a part to each soldier. Also his gown, yet the gown was seamless, woven in one piece from top to bottom. Exodus 28, verse 32. So they then said to one another, "Let's not split this. Let's take chances on it, to see whose it will be." This fulfilled the writing that says, "They divided my outer garments among themselves, and they threw a lot for my valuable garment." Musical composition 22, verse 18. Yes, indeed, the soldiers did these things, yet standing there beside Jesus' stake was his mother, and his mother's sister, Salome, the mother of Zebedee's sons, James and John. Mary, the wife of Clopas, Alphaeus, and the mother of James the little one, and Joseph, and Mary the Magdalene. So then, when Jesus noticed his mother and the student whom he loved standing by, he said to his mother, "Woman, notice your son." After this, he said to the student, "Notice your mother." So from that hour the student took her into his own household. After this, Jesus, being aware that he had already been done completely, so that the writing might be completed, said, "I am thirsty." Musical composition 42, verse 2. A container was sitting there bulging with vinegar, sour wine. So they then stuck a sponge bulging with vinegar, sour wine, on a hyssop branch, and brought it up to his mouth. Musical composition 69, verse 21. So then, when Jesus took the vinegar, sour wine, he said, "It has been done completely." Then he bowed his head and gave up his spirit, or stopped breathing. Then the Jews, since it was the preparation day, Friday, so that the bodies might not stay on the stakes on the Sabbath day, for that Sabbath day was the great day, asked Pilate that their legs might be fractured, and that they might be taken away. Deuteronomy 21, verse 23. So the soldiers then came and fractured the legs of the first one, and of the other one, who had been fastened to a stake together with him. Yet when they came up to Jesus and noticed that he had already died, they didn't fracture his legs. Exodus 12, verse 46, and Numbers 9, verse 12. But one of the soldiers pierced his side with a spear, and immediately out came blood and water. Now the one who has seen it has testified, and his testimony is true. And he is aware that he is telling the truth, so that you also might be continually believing. For these things occurred so that the writing might be fulfilled. Not a bone of him will be crushed. Musical composition 34, verse 20. Then again, a different writing says, "They will see him whom they pierced." Zechariah 12, verse 10. Now after these things Joseph of Arimathea, who was a student of Jesus, yet a hidden one because of fear of the Jews, asked Pilate that he might take away the body of Jesus, and Pilate gave him permission. So he then went and took away his body. Now Nicodemus also came, the one who had first come to him at night, bringing a mixture of myrrh and aloe vera that weighed about 100 troy pounds, or 75 pounds. So they then took Jesus' body and bound it in fabric wrappings with the spices, just as the burial custom is among the Jews. Now in the place where he was fastened to the stake there was a garden, and in the garden there was a new tomb, in which no one had yet been placed. So then, because it was the preparation day, Friday, of the Jews, and since the tomb was nearby, they placed Jesus there. John chapter 20. Now on Sunday, the first day after the Sabbath day, Mary the Magdalene came to the tomb in the early morning, 6 a.m., while it was still dark, and observed that the stone had already been taken away from the tomb. So she then ran and went to Simon Peter and the other student of whom Jesus was fond, and said to them, "They have taken away the Master out of the tomb, and we aren't aware of where they have placed him." So Peter and the other student then went out, and they began going to the tomb. Now the two were running alike. Then the other student ran more quickly ahead of Peter, and came to the tomb first. Then, when he peered in, he observed the fabric wrappings lying there. Nevertheless, he didn't enter. Simon Peter then also came, following him, and entered into the tomb. Then he gazed at the fabric wrappings lying there, and the handkerchief that was on his head, not lying with the fabric wrappings, but folded up in a place by itself. So then the other student, who came first to the tomb, then also entered, and he noticed and believed, for they weren't yet aware of the writing, that he has to rise up from among the dead. Musical composition 16 verse 10. So the students then went away again to their own homes. Yet Mary the Magdalene remained standing outside the tomb, weeping. Then, while she kept weeping, she peered into the tomb. Then she gazed at two messengers in white, sitting where the body of Jesus had been lying, one at the head and one at the feet. Now they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" Then she said to them, "They have taken away my master, and I'm not aware of where they have placed him." When she had said these things, she turned around and gazed at Jesus, standing there. But she wasn't aware that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you seeking?" Having the impression that he was the gardener, she said to him, "Master, if you have carried him off, you must tell me where you have placed him, and I will take him away." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Stop continually touching or clinging to me, for I haven't yet ascended to the Father. Yet you must go to my brothers and sisters and say to them, I'm going to ascend to my Father and your Father, to my Almighty and your Almighty." Mary the Magdalene went and reported to the students, "I have seen the Master," and also these things that he had said to her. Then, when it was evening, that is, just before sunset of that day, Sunday, the first day after the Sabbath day, and after the doors of the place where the students were gathered together had already been locked, because of fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood among them, and said to them, "Peace to you." Now after he had said this, he showed them both his hands and his side. Then the students rejoiced over noticing the Master. So Jesus then said to them, "Peace to you. Just as the Father has dispatched me, I also am going to send you." Now after he had said this, he exhaled on them, and said to them, "You must take the pure spirit. Whoever's wrongdoings you forgive, they are permanently forgiven to them. And whoever's wrongdoings you are retaining, they are permanently retained." Now Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus the twin, wasn't with them when Jesus came. So the other students were then saying to him, "We have seen the Master." Yet he said to them, "Unless I notice the impression of the nails in his hands, and insert my finger into the impression of the nails, and insert my hand into his side, I shall by no means believe." Now after 8 days, that is, the next Sunday, his students were again inside, and Thomas was with them. After the doors had already been locked, Jesus came and stood among them, and said, "Peace to you." After this, he said to Thomas, "Bring your finger here, and notice my hands, and bring your hand, and insert it into my side. Now you stop being an unbeliever, but be a believer." Then Thomas responded and said to him, "My Master and my Almighty." Jesus said to him, "Is it because you have seen me that you have believed? Happy are those who haven't been acquainted with me, but who have believed." Yes, indeed, Jesus also did many other signs in the sight of his students, which haven't been written in this scroll. Yet these have been written so that you might be continually believing that Jesus is the Anointed One, the Son of Almighty, and so that believing you might have life in the last age through his name, Jesus. John chapter 21. After these things, Jesus again appeared to the students at the Sea of Tiberias and Galilee, Lake Gennesaret. And he appeared in this way: Simon Peter, Thomas, called Didymus the twin, Nathanael or Bartholomew, from Cana of Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, James and John, and 2 others of his students were together. Simon Peter said to them, "I'm going fishing." They said to him, "We also are coming with you." So they then went out and stepped into the ship, and during the night they netted nothing. Now when it had already become early morning, 6 a.m., Jesus stood on the beach. Nevertheless, the students didn't notice that it was Jesus. So Jesus then said to them, "Little children, you don't have anything worth eating, do you?" They responded to him, "No." Now he said to them, "You must throw the net on the right side of the ship. Then you will find them." So they then threw it, but they weren't strong enough to draw it in because of the quantity of fish. So that student, whom Jesus loved, then said to Peter, "It is the Master." So when Simon Peter then heard that it is the Master, he wrapped his coat around his waist, since he was naked, and jumped into the sea. Yet the other students came in the boat, dragging the net full of fish, for they weren't far from the land, about 200 cubit lengths, or 100 yards off. So when they stepped off onto the land, they observed a fire of hot coals already laid, and pieces of fish and a biscuit lying on it. Jesus said to them, Bring some of the pieces of fish that you have now netted." So Simon Peter then went up and drew the net onto the land, bulging with 153 large fish. And although there were so many, the net wasn't split. Jesus said to them, "Come on, have some breakfast." Now none of the students dared to inquire of him, "Who are you?" being aware that it was the Master. Jesus went and took the biscuit and gave it to them, and the pieces of fish likewise. This was already the third time that Jesus had appeared to the students, after he had been awakened from among the dead. So when they had then finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" He said to him, "Yes, Master, you are aware that I am fond of you." He said to him, "You must be continually grazing my young lambs." He said to him again a second time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He said to him, "Yes, Master, you are aware that I am fond of you." He said to him, "You must be continually shepherding my sheep." He said to him a third time, "Simon, son of John, are you fond of me?" Peter was sorry that he had said to him the third time, "Are you fond of me?" Then he said to him, "Master, you are aware of all things. You know that I am fond of you." So Jesus said to him, "You must be continually grazing my little sheep. Truly, truly, I say to you, when you were younger, you used to tighten your belt and walk where you wanted. Yet when you grow elderly, you will stretch out your hands, and another will tighten your belt and carry you to where you don't want to go." Now he said this, signifying by what death he would esteem Almighty. Then, when he had said this, he said to him, "You must be continually following me." When Peter turned around, he observed the student whom Jesus loved following them, the person who also had leaned back on his chest at the supper and said, "Master, who is it who is going to deliver you over?" So when Peter then noticed this person, he said to Jesus, "Master, now what about him?" Jesus said to him, "If I want him to be staying until I come, what is that to you? You must be continually following me." So this word then went out among the brothers and sisters that this student wasn't going to die. Now Jesus didn't say to him that he wasn't going to die, but if I want him to be staying until I come, what is that to you? This is John, the student who is testifying about these things, and who wrote these things, and we are aware that his testimony is true. Now there are also many other things that Jesus did, which if they were written down one by one, I conjecture that not even the world itself could contain the written scrolls.